It was supposed to be a normal shift, just another long evening of serving guests, carrying trays, and forcing smiles. But for Sarah, a young waitress working at an upscale resort, that night would be anything but ordinary. It started with laughter, cruel, mocking laughter that echoed across the luxurious poolside. And by the time the night ended, every single person watching would be left speechless. Sarah wasn't just any waitress. She was hardworking, dedicated, and determined to make something of herself despite the struggles life had thrown her way. Every plate she served was a step toward her dream, saving enough money to finish college and build a better future. But not everyone saw her effort. Some people only saw a uniform, a nameless worker who existed for their convenience. I've noticed only 98% of you who watch haven't subscribed. Come on, guys, show some love and support. Thanks a bunch to those who have already subscribed. Among the guests that night was a group of wealthy young men, their expensive watches gleaming under the golden lights, their laughter loud and entitled. They were used to getting whatever they wanted, and to them, the waitstaff was nothing more than background noise to their fun. And that night, they decided to have a little fun at Sarah's expense. She was balancing a tray of drinks when it happened. One of the men, smirking with mischief, extended his foot just enough to trip her. The world seemed to slow down as the tray flew from her hands, glasses shattering on the ground. Gasps filled the air, followed by an explosion of laughter. Embarrassed but composed, Sarah quickly bent down to pick up the broken pieces. But the humiliation wasn't over. One of the men, his arrogance dripping like the drink he held, grinned at his friends and whispered something. Then before she could react, he gave her a slight push. Her balance faltered, and in an instant, she was falling. A loud splash. Water surged around her, soaking her uniform, her hair, and her dignity. The laughter around her grew louder. To them, this was nothing more than entertainment. But for Sarah, it was something deeper. An insult, a reminder that to them, she was nothing. As she emerged from the water, gasping and dripping, she held back the tears burning in her eyes. She had been taught to stay professional, to not react, to not let them see her break. But then, something unexpected happened. A voice cut through the laughter, firm, commanding, and unimpressed. "That's enough." The voice belonged to a man who had been sitting alone at the far end of the pool. He wasn't laughing. He wasn't even smiling. Instead, his eyes held a sharpness that silenced the room. Slowly, he stood. And as he did, whispers filled the air. Because this wasn't just any man. This was a billionaire, a well-known business mogul, one of the wealthiest guests at the resort. And now all eyes were on him. The arrogant young man who had pushed Sarah chuckled, trying to play it off. "Relax, man. It was just a joke." But the billionaire didn't look amused. He walked towards Sarah, who was still standing in the pool, drenched and shivering. Without hesitation, he removed his designer jacket and extended it to her. "Are you all right?" he asked, his voice calm but sincere. Sarah hesitated, then nodded. She took the jacket, draping it over her wet uniform. Then the billionaire turned toward the group of men, his expression unreadable. "A joke?" he repeated. "Tell me, do you enjoy humiliating people who work hard? Do you think their dignity is worth less than yours?" The smirk on the young man's face faded. "I've seen many people like you," the billionaire continued, his voice unwavering. "People who believe their money gives them the right to look down on others. But let me tell you something. Real wealth isn't measured by what you own. It's measured by how you treat those who serve you." Silence fell over the crowd. The air felt heavier. Then the billionaire turned back to Sarah. "Come with me," he said. "You don't have to work here anymore." Murmurs of disbelief spread through the audience. Was he serious? Was he really offering her a way out? But Sarah, still shaken, couldn't find her voice. The billionaire smiled. "You have potential, and I have a business where I need someone with your determination. If you're willing, I'd like to offer you a job, a better one." Tears welled in Sarah's eyes, not of sadness, but of shock and gratitude. This was unreal. A chance like this didn't just appear out of nowhere. And just like that, in a single moment, everything changed. The young men who had laughed at her stood in the stunned silence. The guests who had watched without intervening now looked ashamed. And Sarah realized that dignity was something no one could take from her. So what happened next? Sarah accepted the offer. She left that job, started working for the billionaire's company, and within a few years, she built a successful career. She never forgot that night, not because of the cruelty she faced, but because of the kindness that changed her life. And as for those men who had mocked her, they were left with nothing but regret. But Sarah's story doesn't end there. Over the years, she made it her mission to help others who faced the same struggles she once did. She started a foundation that provided scholarships for underprivileged students, making sure that no one had to suffer just because of where they came from. Her journey became an inspiration for many, proving that kindness could truly change the world. This story teaches us something important. Kindness and respect cost nothing, but they mean everything. You never know when a simple act of standing up for someone can change a life forever. And before you go, if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Let us know, have you ever witnessed or experienced an act of kindness that changed everything? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.